In this video, we're going to take a look at the creation of elevation and section views in Autodesk Revit. Currently, I have a mechanical plan view here, and I want to create a section view to cut through the building and take a look at some of the ductwork here. Since I'm creating a new view, I will go to the View tab, and I will select my section view here. You will also find the same button on the Quick Access toolbar, which makes it a little easier to get to. In this case, I will go ahead and pick 2 points to cut across my view. I'll start here on the left and then all the way over to the right. That begins my section view. A few things to note here. First of all, if I select the section line itself, I have the ability to flip the direction that it's looking, and I also have the ability to control the depth of the view itself, so I can decide how far I want to view. I can also control the widths of the views, so I can bring them in and out using these grips, and some of that can be controlled by the view itself as well. So first of all, I'm going to rename this view here in my project browser, and I'm going to call this one North Wing HVAC. Then I'm going to go ahead and double click on it to go to that view. I want to make a few changes here. First of all, I want to select the view cropping region and expand those up and down so that I can see the entire building there. And then I want to apply a template to this particular view. So I'm going to right click on the view name here and apply template properties. I'm creating a mechanical section view, so I'll select the mechanical section option and click OK. And we can see the result of the view there. Next, I'm going to create an elevation view. I'll start by selecting the elevation command, and I want to set this to an interior elevation since I'm going to be inside the building. Now I'm noticing that as I'm moving my mouse around on screen, I'm not seeing any sort of preview for my elevations. I'm also noticing that the original elevation markers outside of the building are not showing, so I'm going to turn on the display of those by going into Visibility Graphics. So again, I could type VV or VG, or here on the View tab, I can choose Visibility Graphics. I'll switch to my Annotation Categories tab, and I can see that elevations are currently turned off in here. So I'll select that and click OK. Now I can see the existing elevations, and then I'm going to create a new one. So I will select Elevation, and once again make sure that's set to Interior Elevation. And the way this works is it's going to point at whatever the nearest wall is. So as I move around to different walls, you'll see this adjust. I want to point to the angled wall here. That way I can get a view of some of this ductwork in here. So I'll click when I can see that. Then I'll press Escape, and then I will select the black triangle portion of that symbol. Then I can adjust the cropping of the view here. So I'm going to bring this in just about there, and then I'll bring the opposite side in here as well to just above the south wing there. And then just like the section views, I can control the depth. So I'm going to click and drag to get this past this duct here so that I can see it. I can see the question marks in my model browser, so I'll expand to this elevation here, and I'm going to rename it to Entrance Elevation HVAC. And then I'll right click on it and apply a template property. And this time I want the mechanical elevation instead of the section that we used previously. Now if I go ahead and take a look at this view, I can see that I'm looking perpendicularly to these ducts here. I can see the mechanical information. I do still have some plumbing information in here, so I'm going to select one of these and type VH to hide the category, and that'll get rid of all of the plumbing fixtures. And there we have our mechanical elevation. Once again, somewhat similar in the views, but as you can see, they are categorized a little bit differently here with our sections and elevations. Let's take a look at an electrical example. Here I have my lighting plan, and once again, I just want to create a section view. So this time I'll select it from my Quick Access toolbar, and then I can go ahead and pick 2 points to go across this building. And I actually wanted it to go the other way, so I'll hit the flip button here. And then I can click and drag to determine how far I want the far end to be. That's actually pretty good, so I'll keep that there. If I wanted the head of my section to go up on top, then I can hit this little circular arrow button and it will flip between the symbols. Now, once again, I've got a new view here I can go ahead and rename. So this is going to be my North Wing Electrical. And then just like we did with the mechanicals, I can right click on it and apply a template property. In this case, this one's going to be an electrical section. Then once more, I can take a look at that view. This time I'll double click on the triangle portion here to jump to the view rather than picking it from the list. And then of course I can adjust the crop regions in here as well. So there we can see some of our electrical information. Next we'll create a couple of elevations here. So I'll return to my lighting plan, and here I have my electrical room. And once again, I will go to the View tab and select Elevation. Make sure it's set to Interior Elevation. And for this one, I'll just have it click to where it's pointing to the left here. Then if I escape out of that, I can select the circle and I can add in additional views by adding the arrows. I can also drag this out as needed to try to get it to fit better, but it's pretty tight in there regardless. If you look at the black arrows themselves, by selecting them, I can see where the cut is taking place. So I can adjust those here, or I can adjust them in their views. I'm going to go ahead and adjust them in their views. So I'll double click on the view to go to that particular elevation, and then I can do some dragging of my grips until I'm showing just the room that I'm dealing with. I can also hide things, so maybe I want to select a level and type VH to hide the category. There we can see the electrical room there, and then I can see it from the other direction as well. If I double click on that arrow, then I can jump to that view, and then once more I can do some cropping until I'm showing just that area. Once more I can do some hiding, so I'll do the VH to hide my levels, and then I also will apply some template properties here. So I will go to each one. I can rename these electrical room, south elevation and west elevation. In the interest of time, I'll just go ahead and apply my template properties here. These are electrical elevations, so I'll just simply select those options, and now you can see the update there in terms of what it's showing in the view, but also where it's categorizing the view as well. So I will do the same thing to the other elevation here, electrical elevation, and OK. Now I can see those categorized, and then once again I can just simply rename those as needed. Next we'll take a look at some elevations and sections in the plumbing environment. I'll start with a section view, and I'm just going to create a simple section of typical classroom plumbing here. As you can see, I placed it the wrong direction, so I'm going to flip this around, select the line, and hit the flip button here. Then I can adjust the depth. I'm actually pretty happy with how that looks right now. I can go ahead and rename it here. I'll call it typical classroom plumbing. Then I'll apply the template property of plumbing section. So I'll right click and apply template properties. Not currently seeing it here, so I'm going to adjust my filter here to show all. Now I should be able to find my plumbing section view. I'll go ahead and click OK to that, and once more I'll just double click on the arrow to jump to that view. And now we can see the plumbing in this area. Once again, I can adjust my views as needed, maybe hide some levels. Of course, I can adjust my cropping and so on. I'm going to make another couple of views here, this time using the elevation view. I'm going to create some views looking at the restrooms here. So I'm going to start by creating an elevation. interior, and I'll just have it point towards the sinks. Then I'll escape out of that, select the circle, and add the right side view to it as well. I'll go ahead and jump into one of these views here, and I can adjust the cropping. Now, I might not be sure which restrooms I'm dealing with in here, so you can, of course, go back to the plumbing plan and take a look at the line here. It might be a little more easy to visualize what's going on. So I can drag the little dots here as needed. And then again, I can do the same thing for this one. Then again, I can jump into those views, and in this particular case, we only want to show the first level, so I'm going to drag the top cropping region down and the bottom up. Once again, I can hide these level indicators if I want. And then I also want to apply the template properties to it. So I'm going to go to that particular view, and I'm going to rename these as well. So this, for example, would be the women's west elevation, and then we'd have the women's east elevation. Once again, I can set that view current and adjust its cropping region as well, and then hide some levels if I want to do that. I also want to apply some template properties to these, so I'll right click on each of them and apply template properties. And once again, I'm probably going to have to set my filter type to all, and then I can do the plumbing elevation. And then I'll do the same thing with the second one. So that, of course, will adjust the view and then recategorize the views as well. Plumbing elevation and OK. Now I would want to do the same thing for the men's room, but to save myself time, I'm going to copy these views instead. So I'll return to my plumbing plan, and I'm just simply going to select the circle here, and then while holding the control key, I'm going to click and drag it into the men's room. That will create a copy of these views. I can click on the triangles though, and you can see that the views are still looking down there in the women's room. So I do need to go ahead and drag these lines up and adjust them as needed. I can see that the views were categorized correctly since they were based off of the other ones. I just simply need to go ahead and rename them. So this would now be the men's west elevation, and then the men's east elevation. I also want to get rid of that one that was added at the end of those as well. So very easy to create additional views inside the building using the section views tool or the elevation views tool. And as you saw, we can go ahead and apply template properties whether we're dealing with mechanical, electrical, or plumbing.